If you've been to the Keweenaw Peninsula, it's easy to see the influence of Finnish culture. One word sums up the grit and determination of those people, and that word is sisu. Earlier this week, we traveled to the Trap Rock Valley area outside of downtown Calumet, where a team of young football players embodies the sisu spirit. Established in 1938, Capital Farms, located in the Trap Rock Valley, has been under single-family ownership for nearly a century.
This farm goes back about 100 years. My grandmother and A.D. Koskela started this farm, and she and her kids worked this farm without a husband and without a father here. And this farm kept 8 kids alive, and it was by hard work and dedication by 3 ladies and her mother that fed the rest of their family. And I live right here. My cousin lives here. My cousins live behind me. My uncle and aunt live down the road. So it's kind of our family farm area.
On Monday, the farm would play host to a middle school football game, a first in its nearly 100-year existence. The game taking place not too far from the farm's cattle, which were able to catch a glimpse of the action while taking a break from their daily grazing. This is a hay field. This is where my aunts baled hay and made hay in a lot tougher times than I get to do it with an air-conditioned tractor. But it's what hard work and dedication and sisu, as we call it, and that's what my family, my grandmother and her three oldest kids, Arlene, Betty, and Shirley Ann, we're all Koskelas that kept this farm going and kept my mother and my other aunts and uncles fed and alive. Wrapping up their second season as a program, the Copper Island Academy Eagles would experience a home field advantage for the first time, welcoming in Ontonagon.
We didn't have any home games. Every game we played was on the road in the various schools, which was fine. We had a lot of travel and, bringing your kids there. We didn't have busing right away, and now this is our quote-unquote home field for a few years before we can get a football field built. So next year we hope to have kids in other teams here.
They put a lot of work into this. I mean, this is actually right in front of my parents' house, so it's been really cool, and his parents live right there, so it's kind of right where we've been growing up. We've played football here our whole lives, so it's fun to have a real game, somewhere it's not usually going to be a football field. So
at regulation size, Capital Farms Field is the size of your typical football field with a few noticeable changes.
And we're missing, as you notice, field goal posts, but fortunately 7th and 8th grade kids can't kick very good yet and kick field goals, so that's not a problem. But
before taking the field, the players jump inside an ambulance, not to tend to injuries, but to change into their football gear.
Mercy Ambulance is right next to our school, and this ambulance has been sitting there for about a year, and I asked the CEO of the ambulance company, I said, what are you doing to that ambulance? He said, well, we're just going to sell it. So I said, I want to buy it. So I ended up buying it. So I drove the ambulance down here, and there's doors and compartments. The kids got lockers, and they go in back the ambulance and close the doors, and 22 kids jump out with football uniforms on, and we don't have a locker room that doubles as a locker room, so they leave their football equipment in there. Then there's got a place for shade when it's hot for practice, and we can keep the water in there. So it's our mobile locker room. So again, it's you make do with what you got, not with what you wish you had.
Without stands, fans in attendance set up lawn chairs to take in the action. They did have food options available, which were sold out of the back of the makeshift locker room, which doubled as a concession stand. Prior to the game's kickoff, the presentation of colors by Joe Enrietti, a former staff sergeant in the U.S. Army Air Force. At 99 years old, Enrietti is the last living World War II veteran in Keweenaw County. That was followed by the passing of a remote-controlled plane for a one-of-a-kind flyover, a fitting start to such a unique game day experience. The Eagles would go on to win the game 34-6 over Ontonagon, with the final result far from the main focus.
I mean, we don't go by wins and losses, especially in younger kids football. Big thing's having fun and learning. So I feel like they did that, and they taught us more than we taught them, believe it or not. So
while Capital Farms Field is only a temporary home for these players, the opportunity to play in such a unique venue will create memories that will last a lifetime.
And that's what it's about, I mean, so a lot of these kids will grow up to be engineers and all different things, but this is something they'll remember forever, I believe, and they really enjoy it.